At this scrapyard, a worker stands on a truck bed, preparing to toss a heavy metal frame over the side. He throws the frame, without realizing he's standing inside it. Never, ever throw heavy, looped, or irregular scrap from an elevated platform without first making sure your body is completely clear of the entanglement area. At this weigh station, a driver reverses an overloaded three-wheeled truck onto a narrow platform. One tire slips off the edge, and the entire vehicle becomes unstable in an instant. Never, ever operate an overloaded, top-heavy, three-wheeled vehicle near the unprotected edge of an elevated platform without a spotter. When the load is stacked high, even a small drop at one wheel can shift the entire machine out of stable alignment. To prevent this, elevated weigh bridges and loading platforms should be fitted with guide rails or safety curbs to stop tires from slipping off the edge. Drivers must also keep heavy loads low, balanced, and within safe limits. A narrow platform and a high center of gravity are a dangerous combination. On this demolition site, an excavator keeps hammering away at the building's lower structure, but with every strike, the risk of sudden instability grows closer. Never, ever operate a standard excavator directly beneath a structure while removing its main supports. Once the remaining supports give way, the danger zone develops immediately and leaves almost no time to react. To prevent this, demolition crews should use high-reach equipment and dismantle structures from the top down while staying outside the affected area. Larger takedowns must follow a controlled demolition plan, not improvised bottom-up breaking. In this suburban yard, two men use a rope to pull a tree while another cuts at the base. But the moment the trunk starts to fall, its path creates a danger no one seems ready for. Never, ever stand in the fall zone of a tree or pull a tension rope straight toward your own position during felling. Once the trunk gives way, the rope line can guide the falling tree directly toward the ground crew. To prevent this, tree work crews should redirect pulling force with proper rigging, winches, or snatch blocks so the line stays clear of the fall zone. Anyone assisting must stand well off to the side and outside the tree's landing area. Inside a busy warehouse aisle, two operators ride pallet jacks too close together at speed. When the lead stops suddenly, the trailing machine has no time to react. Never, ever follow another ride-on pallet jack too closely in an active aisle. This is an equipment impact hazard. Heavy equipment needs a stopping distance, and one sudden stop ahead can instantly remove every safe option behind. To prevent this, warehouses must enforce safe speeds and clear following distances for all powered equipment. Operators should always expect abrupt stops in shared aisles and leave enough room to react. Tailgating heavy machinery turns a routine aisle into a contact hazard. Along a rural fence line, a contractor drives a post into the ground using heavy equipment. But striking an unseen underground line creates a serious utility hazard. Never, ever drive posts or heavy equipment into the ground without first confirming what lies below. A buried gas line can cause a hazardous release the moment it is breached. To prevent this, crews must use utility locating services and verify underground infrastructure before any digging or post driving begins. Where lines may be present, use non-destructive methods to expose the area first. What you cannot see below ground can still control the entire job site. On this sloped gravel driveway, an operator begins driving a heavy tractor onto a trailer behind a parked pickup. But as the weight shifts onto the deck, the entire setup starts moving unexpectedly. Never, ever load heavy machinery onto a trailer without first securing the tow vehicle with wheel chocks and a fully set parking brake. As the machine climbs the ramps, the shifting weight can push the entire setup out of position. To prevent this, operators must chock the towing vehicle, verify the brake is locked, and load only on level ground whenever possible. Never rely on park gear alone to hold a moving weight transfer. If the base is not secured, the whole rig can start moving. At a loading dock, a forklift carries a large liquid container toward a truck. A minor height miscalculation is about to turn this routine delivery into a significant product spill risk. Never, ever enter a trailer or low-clearance opening with a forklift until the mast and load are fully lowered to a safe travel height. A small height misjudgment can turn a normal loading move into a significant product spill. To prevent this, forklift operators must travel with the forks low and the load position for maximum visibility and clearance. Facilities should also mark low clearance points clearly before entry. Tight spaces leave no room for guessing. On an automated factory floor, a technician steps too close to an active robotic arm. The machine continues its programmed motion, unaware of anything in its path. Never ever enter the movement zone of an active industrial robot without full lockout and isolation. This is a serious equipment interaction hazard. Robotic systems follow programmed motion, not human presence. To prevent this, automated cells must be protected with fencing, interlocked gates, or presence sensing safeguards that stop motion immediately when access is breached. Workers should not bypass protections or assume they can time the cycle safely. A robot only follows its program. In a loading yard, a forklift drives downhill carrying a heavy load, but sudden braking shifts the balance, causing the machine to lose stability unexpectedly. Never, ever drive a loaded forklift forward down a slope or brake hard while descending. This is a forward instability risk. On an incline, the load shifts the center of gravity toward the front wheels much faster than many operators expect. To prevent this, operators should travel in reverse when moving a load down a grade, so the load stays uphill and stable. Speeds must stay low enough for smooth control at all times. On a slope, stability can be lost very quickly. On a city sidewalk, a painter works from an elevated mobile scaffold. As a co-worker begins to move it, the base moves and the platform becomes unstable. Never move a scaffold while it is occupied. Mobile scaffolds are tall, narrow systems that depend on base stability. Introducing horizontal movement generates lateral forces, and even minor surface irregularities can exceed the scaffold's designed stability margins. Workers must descend before repositioning the scaffold, lock casters before climbing, verify surface conditions, and use outriggers when required. Treat short repositioning movements with the same level of control as longer relocations, as elevation amplifies small changes. Inside this shopping mall, a maintenance worker reaches from the very top of a tall ladder while working overhead. But the higher he leans, the more unstable the moment becomes. Never, ever stand on the top cap or highest step of a freestanding A-frame ladder to gain extra reach. The moment your body rises above the ladder's safe working limit, stability drops sharply and loss of balance becomes much more likely. To prevent this, maintenance workers must choose a ladder tall enough to reach the task while keeping their body centered between the rails and their feet on a safe step.